Forbes named Grand Rapids as the 39th best place for business and careers. What kind of growth has Grand Rapids seen over the past year, and what's the forecast for growth in construction for 2015? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers, coming to you from the 2014 West Michigan Policy Forum, being taped at the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel in downtown Grand Rapids. Joining me now is the CEO of Rockford Construction, Mike VanGessel. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So you should be an expert, right, on construction, not just in West Michigan, but pretty familiar with the climate around the state. Things have been getting better, much better, over the last 3, 4, 5 years, correct?
Correct, they have. Yeah, we're enjoying a nice run the last couple of years. I think we're seeing confidence not only in Grand Rapids, but throughout Michigan. So we're a company that builds throughout the state, so it's been very good.
Is there a particular part of the state? Is it Southeast Michigan? Is it West Michigan that seems to be sort of leading the way, if you will, doing better than the rest of the state?
Certainly, we're enjoying great growth here in West Michigan. This is our home base, so we're seeing most of our growth here in West Michigan. But we're also very active throughout the state. We're seeing it in other communities as well. We're very hopeful about Detroit. We see some great things happening there, and we're engaging in a number of conversations there as well.
Is there a certain sector that's leading away? Is it residential? Is it commercial? Is it private? Is it more government, schools, hospitals, that type of thing?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of everything. You know, what we're seeing, I think, as much as anything, is kind of urban, and around the urban, residential is big, and then of course people want to then work near their homes, and then so the office market is kind of coming back into the city. We're seeing much of that, and then that spurns retail, and so all those things kind of work together. We call it a mixed use, and that's really what we're seeing in the urban environment. In
all cities in Michigan, are we talking about downtown Grand Rapids as well as downtown Detroit?
I believe so, yes. I mean, I think people from those communities are engaged in their cities, they're in their urban core, whether it's a larger city or not. I don't think has to be the issue, and I think most cities are trying to have that public-private partnerships that are really important to urban development, and there's a bit of a renaissance, I believe, going in throughout the state and most of the cities.
Well, that was sort of my next question. You call it a renaissance, but is there sort of this movement or this mentality of simplifying, of moving to downtown core urban areas, and sort of a whole lifestyle change, if you will?
I think there is. I think post the economy, or the recession, where we really refer to as a bit of a socioeconomic reset, people began to look at their lifestyle. They began to look at how do we simplify, and many of those things come to how do we move closer to an urban core, how do we live closer to our place of work, maybe how do we simplify the square footage of our home, do we rent instead of own, maybe we get down to one car. So there's all these factors, and I think that goes across gender, so I don't think it's just the young. I think some of the empty nesters are also looking to have some of those same experiences. I do think one of the challenges that we have with all of this is how do we continue to look at our schools, and how do we make improvements, because there's a big part of really that marketplace that we need to tap into, and that's really how do we get to the folks that have kids in schools, and how do we get them to come downtown.
So you can get everybody. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Mike VanGessel, the CEO of Rockford Construction.